Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We welcome you to today's SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class. We have the privilege of having His Grace, ISVARA PRABHU, our senior godbrother, here to speak with us today on SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. ISVARA PRABHU is not a new person, so he doesn't need any introduction. So Sahadeva will take over the hosting right from here. So Sahadeva Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
So, dear devotees, thank you all for being here. And Sri Shara Prabhu, again, thank you for being here. And we're going to put the verse on the screen and they will take it over.
So I just say the prayers. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya. Edi Ramane Chaiba Prane Bharate Tita Hado Adina Chamadi Chahari Sabatakiyati Mukam Kartiva Chala Pangula Gartigri Yagripa Chahambandi Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramananda Madhava Damo Pajita Kadavota Paramoni Masam Chutan Vidan Vastavam Matavastu Shivadon Tapataya Molana Sima Bhagavati Mahamani Kitanki Vai Para Isvara Sadyuridi Avariti Tat Kitivitat Kishanan Egama Kapantalupa Galita Falam Sukamu Kadavasamiton Devatam Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Bhura Urasika Bhavukar Atoyam Brahmasutrana Bharatata Vinaya Gayati Basa Yuroposo Virata Paribimita Savabhiti Asana Saram Saram Paribimita Savedanta Sarambi Se Bhagavatam Isyati Tarasam Tipashana Yatisya Kataki Rati Kochi. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Simate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamini Namaste Sasati Devi Gauravada Pajayate Nevisisas Nivadi Prashtari Starine Panchaka Patrubhyas Chakripasya Nivyavacha Patitana Pavana Vibhyo Vaishnavi Namadamona Vasudeva Sitam Vande Kansa Janara Madanam Devaki Paramananda Krishna Vande Jagaguru Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantara Sri Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So I'm happy to be on this platform this evening. I am speaking live from Vrindavan Dham. So now Vrindavan now is very hot now. We've had series of devotees here in Vrindavan the last over the course of several months. Ganga Prasad Prabhu, Salika Prabhu, many other devotees from different places. But now everybody has gone to their various places. Yeah, Vrindavan is still here, we are here. Now it's very hot. It's about 40, today is 41 degrees centigrade. And tomorrow is going to be hotter and hotter and hotter. So it's hot, but it's also hot in Krishna consciousness. Even though no matter what the temperature is, there's always many people coming to Vrindavan. So many big influx of people coming. The temperature do not disturb them, which is a good criteria. So today, the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class is the Sukade Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. The topic is, what's the topic? The Lord of the Earth. What is the topic of this? 1 second. What is the topic of this chapter? Let me see.
The chapter is devotional service.
Yeah, devotional service here. Yeah, devotional service is the chapter. Not just devotional service, pure devotional service. The change in heart.
Yeah,
Pure,
pure devotional change in heart.
It's a very good topic. So we read the text and then we will do word for 1 minute. Gyana yad apratinibrita genomi chakram atma prasada utayatra gune sasanga kaiva yasamata pritastvata bhakti yoga kone brito harikatasu atina kuyat. Gyanam, knowledge, yat, that which are up to the limit of pratinivrita, completely withdrawn. Guna urmi, the waves of the material modes. Chakram, whirlpool. Atma prashadaha, self-satisfaction. Uta, moreover. Yatra, where there is. Uneshu, in the modes of nature. Pataha, path. Two, thoughts. Ata, therefore. Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. Ka, who. Nibrita, absorbing. Arikatasu, in the transcendental globe, the transcendental topics of the Lord. Ratim, attraction. Na, shall not. Kuyat, do. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Transcendental knowledge in relation with the Supreme Lord Hari is knowledge resulting in the complete suspension of the waves and whirlpools of the material modes. Such knowledge is self-satisfying due to its being free from material enjoyment and being transcendental. It is approved by authorities. Who could fail to be attracted? The Papa by Prabhupada. According to the Bhagavad Gita 10:9, the characteristics of pure devotees are wonderful. The complete functioning activities of a pure devotee are always engaged in the service of the Lord. And thus, the pure devotees exchange feelings of ecstasy between themselves and relish transcendental bliss. This transcendental bliss is experienced even in the stage of devotional service, sadhanas avasthana. If properly undertaken, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. And in the mature stage, the developed transcendental feeling culminates in realization of the particular relationship with the Lord, by which a living entity is originally constituted up to the relationship of conjugal love with the Lord, which is estimated to be the highest transcendental bliss. Thus, Bhakti Yoga, being the only means of God realization, is called Kaivalya. Srila Jiva Goswami quotes the Vedic version, Eko Narayana Deva Paravaranam Paraman Ashte Kaivalya Samhita. In this connection, and established that Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is known as Kaivalya, and the means which enables one to approach the Lord is called Kaivalya Panta, or all the only means of attainment of Godhead. This Kaivalya Panta begins from Shravana, or hearing those topics that relate to the personality of Godhead. And the natural consequence of hearing such Harikatha is attainment of transcendental knowledge, which causes detachment from all mundane topics, for which a devotee has no taste at all. For a devotee, all mundane activities, social and political, become unattractive. And in the mature state, such a devotee becomes uninterested even in his own body. And what to speak of bodily relatives? In such a state of affairs, one is not agitated by the waves of the material modes. There are different modes of material nature, and all mundane functions in which a common man is very much interested, or in which he takes part, become unattractive for the devotee. This state of affairs is described herein as Pratinivrita Unomi, and it is possible by Atma Prasada, or the complete self-satisfaction without any material connection. The first-class devotee of the Lord attains this stage by devotional service. But despite his loftiness, for the Lord's satisfaction, he may play the voluntary part of a preacher of the Lord's glory and dovetail all into devotional service. Even mundane interest, just to give the neophytes a chance to transform mundane interest into transcendental bliss. Srila Rupa Goswami has described this action of a pure devotee as Nimbanda Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagam Uchite. Even mundane activities dovetailed with service to the Lord are also calculated to be transcendental or approved Kaivalya. Kaivalya. So this is a very important verse. Kaivalya, which means transcendental. So it's a Jnana Yat Apratibrinta Gunami Chakran. Atma Prashada Utayatra Guleshwara Sangha. Kaivalya Sammata Pantastuata Bhakti Yoga. Ko Nirvita Harikatasu Ratimna Koyat. So this last line say Ka Nirvita Harikatasu Ratimna Koyat. Who cannot be, who is such a person who can fail to be attracted to the topics of Hari? Because the topic of Hari, or the topic of the law, it's very, very dear to the devotees of the Lord. So call break the Hari Katha. So so who can fail to be attracted? Unless a person, you mentioned in the 10th canto Bhagavatam, he mentioned that the topics of the Lord is the only remedy. It's the only remedy for curing the material disease. And who can fail to be attracted to this? It's only that person who is the butcher of his own soul, who is the killer of the self. It's only that person. He's the only person that cannot be attracted to the topics of the Lord, to hearing and chanting of the Lord. So this is being pointed out throughout the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. The whole Bhagavatam is all about the topic of the Supreme Lord. And that's why I said that Bhagavatam is directly the Supreme Lord. It's not different from the Supreme Lord. So, for example, the location is said to be what is that? Avyakta. Avyakta means unmanifest. Because apparently the Lord came 5,000 years ago. He performed so many pastimes. And then he wound up his pastimes. He didn't become unmanifest to our eyes. But actually, to a devotee, the Lord is always manifested. The Lord can be directly perceived in 5 different ways. 5 different ways by which the Lord is perceived, directly manifest in this age. So those 5 ways are: one way is through the deity worship. Through the deity worship, Srimati. The Srimati is not different from the Lord himself. As a matter of fact, the more we'll increase our devotion towards the Lord, to that extent, we get to experience the personal presence of the Lord. To that extent, we got to experience the direct reciprocation of the Lord. So one of the methods by which the Lord is personally present is through the deity worship. And then the second method by which the Lord is present, directly present, is in the form of the Holy Dham. Holy Dham, especially Vrindavan. So there are many sacred spots here in Vrindavan. Govardhan, Shamakund, Radhakund, Manasi Ganga, Seva Kunj, Nidhuban. There are many places are there. And all these places are said to be non-different from Lord Krishna himself. So that's why I mentioned that when one comes to the Holy Dham, one should always be in a mode of devotion when one visits the Holy Dham. The third way by which the Lord is present is in the form of Guru. He said Guru Sakshadari, that the Guru, a transcendental pure Guru, Sadguru, is not different from Hari himself. It's not different from the Supreme Lord. So the Lord Hari is directly manifested through the form of a guru. Therefore, if one is lucky to approach, to come in contact with such pure devotee guru, then one's life is perfect. The fourth method by which the law is directly manifested in Kali Yuga in this age is through his name, Nam, through his name. The Lord Krishna is not different from his name. Abhinata Nama Namine, Chintamani Nama Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Abhinata Nama Namine, that the Lord is between the name, the Nami, the possessor of the name, and the name itself are non-different. Now we have the materialistic possessor. We are materialistic being, material body, material everything, senses, name. So our name is not the same as our body, it's different. For example, now, no matter if you are not in present before me, if I call your name, it's just a fruitless exercise on my part. You're not there. But no matter where you are in the world, the law is everywhere. As a matter of fact, it mentioned Golokero Premadana Harinam Sankirtana, that the holy name of the Lord has come directly from the Golokada, from spiritual world. And because it has descended from the spiritual world, so the Lord is not different from his name. The moment devotee call him, he immediately becomes present before his devotees. And that's one of the reasons why you chant the holy name of the Lord. The more you chant, the more relishment you get. Even though it's the same mantra, I've been chanting it for many years, but we will never be tired of chanting, because holy name of the Lord is very sweet, just like the Lord himself is very sweet. Krishna is sweet, and his name is sweet. It's called Madhu. Madhuram, 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 Vadana, Madhuram. Madhu Gandhi is written Tadi Haho, Madhuram, 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 Madhuram. This is a composition of a great devotee, Vivangatako, whereby he said that everything about Krishna is sweet. His name is sweet, his body is sweet, his body is sweet, everything is sweet, because everything is transcendental. And one great devotee, also the name Balabhacharya, he also composed very wonderful song called Madhurastakam, which means the 8 songs mentioning the sweetness of the Lord. Madhuran, Madhuran, Asitan Madhuran, Madhurari Pate Akila Madhuran. Venu Madhuran, Gopa Madhura. I can keep singing it. Very, like everything about Krishna is sweet. His friends are sweet. His body, his face, everything about him is sweet. When he play, the way he plays his throat is sweet. His name is sweet. So everything about Krishna is sweet. But all these things can be realized through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So therefore, everything about the Lord, everything about Krishna is simply sweet. And the more we develop this for the Lord's holy name, the more our attachment grow. Sri Rupa Goswami was praying. He said that, my dear Lord, your name is so sweet that we desire to have thousands of mouths so that we can be able to chant your holy name. Just having one mouth is not enough. We want to have thousands of mouths so that we can be able to chant it. And to hear about you is very sweet, very wonderful. So therefore, we desire to have millions and millions of ears to be able to hear about you. Now, how do we come to this platform of having attraction to hearing, to chanting the Lord's name? Our taste for any kind of materialistic involvement, the taste have to go completely, because we cannot maintain the two. I'm going to come back to this topic later. First of all, the fifth way, because I mentioned that there are 5 ways by which the Lord is personally present directly in this age. So the 5th way is through SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is Lord Krishna himself. It's directly Lord Krishna. Bhagavatam it's the Lord's literary incarnation. It says, Krishna Swadamupagate Dhamma Gyana Divi Saha Kalona Sadishane Sapura Pranoko Dunodita. That if 5,000 years ago, Lord Krishna came and performed so many pastimes, and then he takes away everything we think. He took away his abode, his devotees. He took them all with him. But the Lord again, he again manifested himself again in the form of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Purana Kodunodita. Purana means this Puranas, this beautiful narration of the Supreme Lord Purana, Bhagavat Purana. This is Krishna himself. When we say Purana, what does Purana means? Purana means, it doesn't mean something that is very, very old. It means something that is always applicable right now. It's always applicable present. Purana. Yes, it was composed, the topic of Bhagavad Purana was composed long ago, but the subject is always applicable right now. The subject is always there right now. So therefore it's called Purana. And Bhagavad Purana is the topmost Purana. So the Lord is not different from this the holy name. So therefore, anyone can get any kind of knowledge. Whatever one desires, anything is there in this book, SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. There is no topic that is not here, that is not there. For example, there are 3 branches of knowledge. The three processes of spiritual cultivation. This is form of a karma, jnana, and bhakti. All right, sorry. Okay, let me just put this on. This is India. So karma, jnana, and bhakti. This is always 3 processes there. So karma, of course, is the process whereby one engages in varieties of sacrifice. Different types of sacrifices there, by performance of which one gradually comes to the point of offering everything unto the Lord. Because within the realm of karma is a system what we call the Varnashram Dharma. That's the system. So it's within that realm. And then so it's a gradual thing. Ultimately, by performance, one becomes very detached from this material world. And then the second aspect is Gyan. Gyana Parishta, the process of knowledge. So Just excuse me just for 1 second, because the light is off. So I need to just put on the second, just 1 second. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, sorry for a little disturbance. So we had, we stay in the Transcendental Buddha of Vrindavan. Sometimes there's always a conflict between the materialistic arrangements. So the demigod, they're always fighting with each other. So sometimes the light goes off sometimes. So as I was saying, there are 3 aspects: karma, jnana, and bhakti. Jnana is the process, and of course, when we talk of jnana, we're not talking of a dry knowledge, dry jnana, because normally when there are certain spiritualists, when they talk of jnana is like cultivation of whereby one negates the whole material world is negated. It's called what is that? What is it? Forgot it. There's a specific terms that we use. Whereby the process of netting means not this, not that. Whereby not everything material is considered to be Maya, and what is of importance is the Brahman. Brahman means the impersonalism. But devotees, they have a different concept. Lord Brahma said, Jnana payasa udapasana manta eva. Jnana payasa udapasana manta eva. Jivot lamagila jagat. So Lord Brahma was saying that there's a time whereby one engages in specific cultivation of knowledge, the knowledge of this material world, the knowledge of existence. Now, there's a particular time when it comes. This is called Jnana Prayashan. Now, let me see. I'm just look for the verse. Lord Brahma was talking to Lord Krishna directly he was talking to Krishna directly in Vrindavan. If I can find the verse, this is in the Bhagavatam. Okay, this is in the Bhagavatam 10 Canto, chapter 14, text number 3. Wherever Lord Brahma said, Jnana prayasu dapasana manta eva, jivanti samakaritam babadeya bhatam, stane sita sutigatam tanabam manobi, ye prayaso jita jito piyasita strilokyam. So the translation says that those who even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge, and with their body, words, and mind, offer all respects to descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicate their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the 3 words. So this is the, and there is some mention that this is throw away of all unnecessary knowledge and simply accept the Supreme Lord. It may be said this Sanatana Goswami, he has explained the words Tanavambanobe by the mind, words, and mind, body, words, and mind in 3 ways in reference to devotees through their body, words, and mind. They are able to conquer Lord Krishna, thus becoming perfect in Krishna consciousness. They can touch his lotus feet with their hands, call him to come with their words, and attain his direct audience within their mind simply by thinking of him. Actually, tonight we're having a lot of disturbance tonight. The light is coming on and off. This is summer. In summertime, it's always like this. Because in the summertime, everyone is using AC because so therefore, sometimes the load of the electricity load sometimes cannot handle it. So therefore we have on and off electricity. So this is what is said here in the text that we are reading. Just read the text again, wherever it said that the transcendental knowledge in relation with the Supreme Lord Hari is knowledge resulting in the complete suspension of the waves and whirlpools of the material modes. The suspension of the waves and whirlpools of the material modes. So which means the knowledge that we are cultivating must brought us to that detachment from any kind of a materialistic endeavor. Must be, because knowledge of Krishna is self-satisfying. Knowledge of Krishna. It actually transforms, it transports one to the spiritual realm. It transports one to the spiritual realm, the knowledge of Krishna. So he mentioned here, they say such knowledge is self-satisfying. Due to its being free from material attachment and being transcendental. It's something that is approved by all the authorities. Knowledge of Krishna is transcendental knowledge. And such knowledge, which is contained here within the pages of the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, it is transcendental knowledge. In the Bhagavad Gita, and chapter 9, chapter 10, text 9. So it mentioned here, because there's a reference to Bhagavad Gita text 9 in this purport here. This is actually one of the what we call Mula Sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Mula Sloka, Mula means the roots, which means because all the sloka, there are 4 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, which are considered to be the most essence. It's considered to be the most essence of the whole Gita. That means if you know these 4 verses alone, then we have all the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. So these 4 verses, this is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 8 to 11. We start from Aham Savasya Prabhu, Mata Sava Prabhatate, Itimata Bhajantema Buddha Bhava Samavita. The word Krishna said that everything is within me, is coming from me. Everything, Aham Savasya Prabhu, everything, material, spiritual, everything is coming from me. They are generated from his Prabhupada means to generate. And nothing you can see in existence that can, whereby there is no involvement of the Lord. Even though under illusion, we may claim that, oh, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. I've created this, I've created that. I've created that. But no, everything is created by the Lord. Everything is owned by Him. Everything is owned by Him. So therefore, because devotees have this knowledge, they render service by offering everything unto the Lord. In the Upanishad, it says, Om Punam Ada Punam Idam. Puna Puna was that Puna Bhavasya Punam Adaya Puna Bhavasya was that and it's separate Om Punam Ada Punam Idam, which means everything complete. Everything complete. It's all coming from the Lord. Everything complete. There's nothing that we can think of that is not coming from the Lord. But under illusion, we are thinking that I am creating, I am making. This is all under illusion. So the Lord said, therefore, said, Aham Savasha Prabhu. He said that everything is coming from me. Everything. So therefore, my devotee, they realize itimatra bhajantema, Buddha Bhava Samamita, that because my devotee know this very well. Those who know this very well, so they engage my bhakti with full devotion. Buddha Bhava Samamita, they engage my devotional service in full devotion. So such devotees who have begin to engage themselves in the pure devotional service of the Lord. So what did the Lord say? He said, Machita Magata Pranan Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayanti Chamanityam Tu Santichara Manticha. He said, the thought of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to me and to my service. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. This is so this kind of verse we should meditate on this, especially this Bhagavad Gita text, chapter 10, text 8 to 11. We should meditate on these 4 verses. These are the 4 most important verses of the Bhagavad Gita. If you know these 4 verses alone, we've known everything. We've known everything about Bhagavad Gita. If we know just this 4 verses alone. So this is what Prabhupada is hinting. The characteristics of pure devotees. They're always thinking of the Lord, And devotees of the Lord, because they're always in a perpetual state of bliss, you will never see a devotee who's not happy. Now, when we say devotee, means who is actually in a devotee who's actually in a transcendental consciousness. Someone who have accepted the Lord as all in all. That's a devotee, a real bhakti. And for such a devotee, there is no more material tribulation for such a devotee. No more material problem, anxiety. There's already complete freedom from all kinds of klesha. Klesha means troubles of materialistic existence. Srila Rupa Goswami, he was describing the characteristics of bhakti, the characteristics of pure devotional service. So he said, Klesagni Subhada, Sandrada Vishisatma, Krishna Kasanecha. There's one line I've missed in this person. So Srila Rupa Goswami is saying the characteristics of pure devotional service to the Lord is whereby first there is a complete cessation of all kinds of materialistic trouble, klesha, which means klesha agni. Agni means there's a total destruction of all kinds of materialistic troubles, of all kinds of materialistic misery, distress. Sandananda Vises Atma. It gives complete happiness, complete bliss. The soul is completely satisfied. Subhada means it's very, very auspicious. It's full of auspiciousness. And then Krishna Kasati, the pure devotion service, it attracts Krishna himself. Krishna become very attracted to the pure devotional service. Okay, you've put on the board here. The beginning of all auspiciousness is automatically put on in pure transcendental pleasure, bliss, actually. So this is the nectar devotion which you find here. And then it's also mentioned that it's very rare, Sudulabha. Is very, very rarely achieved, Sudulabha. Why is it rarely achieved? Because unless one is ready to be 100% surrendered to Krishna, Krishna will not let one have pure devotional service. Because pure devotional service, Krishna become purchased, himself become purchased by pure devotional service. Just like in the verse which I read, whereby Lord Brahma is making a prayer to Lord Krishna. Whereby Lord Brahma is saying that, Ajita Jita Tatita Lokenda Ajita, the person who is always unconquerable, no one can conquer Krishna, unconquerable, but he become conquerable. He become conquered by his devotees. And unconquerable, a person who cannot be conquered, he become conquered by his devotees. It's like I think yesterday, we were giving a talk yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about the king sometimes, a king or a president of a country who has all the powers. He has all the powers and everybody is coming to him with all kind of reference. They want to satisfy him, prayer, so that the king can give them, can award them all the necessities. Everyone has to please the king. But the same king, who's full of all and everyone is worshiping him, everything like that. But the same king, when he goes to the house, when he enters his house, he's no more the king in the house. The royal dress is no more there. He's no more the king. He just become the darling, the house. He become the darling of the father, the friend, the good friend, or good father. A grandchild can come, jump on his lap, or sometimes a grandchild can come and jump on his back, can be slapping this way, that way. And the king is not more the king in his house. When a grandchild comes, sit on his lap and is behaving all kind of way with him, the king is very, very happy. He's releasing so much happiness that, oh, how wonderful. My grandchild, how wonderful. He has come. So much happiness he's getting, and so much bliss he's getting. His friends come, wife come, they all give him an happiness. But at the same person, when he's no more, when he goes out to his office, he becomes a totally different person. So therefore, to become part of the inner circle of the king is not easy. It's not possible. It's practically impossible. Practically impossible to become the king's inner circle. So therefore, Krishna does not award bhakti easy. So therefore, it's a Krishna Bhakti Sudulabha. Krishna Bhakti is very rarely achieved. It's very rarely achieved to obtain the bhakti of Krishna. Because Krishna, he becomes the servant of his own devotees. He becomes, many times, when Krishna said that my devotees, sometimes when they are needing something, I personally carry on my head and go and deliver to them. When my devotees is in need of something, I personally carry on my head to go deliver to them. So as a Supreme Lord, the whole universe is coming out of his body. He is the creator, is the maintainer, is the destructor, is the destroyer. So many universes are coming out of his body, and they all entering his body again. Within his breath, as Mahavishnu, Lord Brahma comes out within his breath. And when he breathes in again, all those hosts of creation again enter his body. So how is it possible for such a person to become submissive to his devotees? So which means that devotees must be very special. So therefore, the path of bhakti is a very strenuous path. It's not easy to attain bhakti. But yes, it's not easy to attain bhakti, but if one follow the right way, the right path, then the bhakti can be attained. Just like he mentioned this in the purport here, that bhakti panta, kaivaya panta. Kaivaya means that process by which Lord Narayan is satisfied. Panta means the path. And that path must be accepted. That path must be authorized by the pure devotees of Krishna. Must be accepted by as they say that Mahajano Yugata Sapanta, that we follow the path which has been tread by the previous acharyas. We follow that path which has been followed by the previous acharyas. So the bhakti process is that process that one performs according to the prescription given by the previous authorities, Otherwise, if one simply tries to do something without following the authority, it's simply disturbance. It's simply disturbance. If one tries to practice bhakti without following the footsteps of the previous authorities, then it's simply such bhakti is just a disturbance. It's not really bhakti. So we have to practice bhakti, which is approved by the authorized persons. And if you follow that path very diligently, then the Supreme Lord can be realized. And when the Supreme Lord is realized, when the Lord is realized, then there is the extension, there is the all kinds of trouble, all kinds of analtas, bad habits, which has been with us for many lifetimes. Those bad habits simply disappear. They will disappear. All those bad habits, especially karma, lust, lust, greed, envy, all these things, they will all disappear. And then we begin to relish the name, form, pastimes of the Lord. We begin to relish it. Like in the beginning, I mentioned about the five aspects, 5 ways by which the Lord is manifest, in this age. Through these 5 aspects, the deity worship, the Dham, the place of pilgrimage, the holy name itself, Krishna now, the Bhagavatam, and then the deity worship. These 5 ways. But the practical realization of this, where we begin to see Krishna directly, that we come whereby when there's no more troubles, when there's no more anatta within us, and when there's no more anatta within us, then these 5 method by which the Lord is manifested, become very practical, become very real between us. So therefore, when a devotee chant the Lord's name, tears will come from his eyes. Tears will come because he knows that I'm chanting and the Lord himself is there. The Lord is personally dancing on my tongue. So therefore, I want to chant, he cannot stop chanting. He can't stop chanting. He wants to chant. And nothing will disturb him in the soul again. Nothing ever will disturb him. He wants to chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And they will be chanting. He will be wishing he have more than one mouth. And whenever there's opportunity to hear Krishna Katha, he becomes very, very greedy. He cannot wait to go and sit down, to go to that place where Hare Katha is going on, where this topic of the Supreme Lord is going on. He cannot wait. It become like someone who is possessed. Just, oh, where is that place where Hare Katha is going on? Let me go there. And then he will go there. He become totally absorbed. He become completely lost in that environment where the Hare Katha is going on. Now, not to talk of when there's deity worship, when it's in front of deity, it's oh, here is Krishna himself. Here is Samasunda himself. Here is the Lord of my life. Here is the Lord of my life. He does not see deity as a statue, as some stone. He's seeing a deity as Krishna himself. Because such a devotee, his eye is completely open. His eye is completely smeared with the object, with the ointment of love of God. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sita Hridayesi Vilokayanti Ya Shamasunda Machinta Guna Sarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Therefore, such devotees, their eyes is anointed with ointment of love of God. Their eyes is smeared. So they can perceive Shamasunda directly in everything, in their heart, everything. So therefore, Lord Brahma is saying that such a personality, who devotee sees in their heart constantly. So I say, Yam, that personality, yes, the Govindam Adi Purushantam. That Govinda, who is the original person, original Purush, I worship. I worship such a person. So devotional service is practicality. It's a practical thing. And as Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that that everyone, when they worship me, as they worship me, I reciprocate accordingly. The level of their worship is to that level, I reciprocate with them by the word. So which means devotees are not the same. Devotees are not equal. There are different classes of devotees. There are those devotees who are considered to be Kanishta devotees, who are just, let's say, materialistically inclined devotees. And there are those devotees who are like Kanishta, who are like Madhyam. They're just in between. They are not totally free yet from material modes, but they are in the part of trying to make advancement in spiritual life. It's called Madhyam devotees. And then there are the topmost class devotees called Uttama Bhaktas. Now, among those Uttama devotees, there are different categories among them. Why? Because devotees, they have different inclinations. There are some devotees that like to worship the Lord in Vaikuntha, the Lord of Vaikuntha. The Lord of Vaikuntha is Narayana. So there are devotees who are attracted to such worship of Narayana. the Lord of Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Narayana, the opulence. So there are such devotees. And there are devotees who like the form of Lord Ramachandra. So such devotees, they want to become associate of Hanuma, Sugriva, like that. So there are such devotees. And then there are devotees who are attracted to the worship of Krishna. When we say Krishna, means the Krishna of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is Vrindavan Krishna, Brajadananda Krishna. And those devotees of Vrindavan, they of course also of different categories also. There are those who are like friendship with Krishna, like the Gopa, the Kaya friends. And then there are those who are like the Paranta, who are in the, whereby they see Krishna as their dependent. They see Krishna to be maintained by them. And then there are those highest class of devotees called the Gopis of Vrindavan, who simply want to relish love with Krishna. They want to exchange love with Krishna. Conjugal love. So there are different devotees, different classes of devotees. Krishna says all of them, as they approach me, I reward them accordingly, except those top class of devotees. Those the inhabitants of Vrindavan, or the, like especially the Gopis, those classes of devotees, their love of Krishna, their service of Krishna is so high that Krishna said, oh, my dear Gopis, I'm unable to repay you for your service to me. I'm unable to repay you, so therefore, let your service be your reward, because I'm unable to repay you for your service. That's the topmost class of devotee, and actually such class of devotee, they're so great that Krishna himself become very, very greedy. He wanted to understand what is the love, what is the nature of my love that these devotees, these gopis, they're so mad about. What's the nature of my love that they're so mad about? And what kind of happiness they are getting? What bliss are they getting? That's in the middle of the night when I'm playing my flute. The moment they hear my flute, they will just run out of their house, regardless of what kind of disturbances there. They just run out of their house in the midnight and come and meet me in the forest. So what is it about me that makes the gopis this way? So Krishna, he became very, very greedy. He wanted to understand. He became very, very greedy. So therefore, he connected himself. He came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to understand himself. He came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, the Lord has come in Kali Yuga. Even though he's Supreme God himself, he's Supreme Son, he's the original Lord himself, but he did not come, he did not appear as God to be worshipped by everyone. He appeared as his own devotee. He appeared as a devotee of himself. So therefore, Krishna came, he became devotee of his own himself, of his devotees of himself. So just imagine, such a miracle, only the Lord can play such miracle. How he become a devotee, become his own devotees. It's unheard of. It's you will not find this in any scriptures. You'll find this in any scriptures. Actually, the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is said to be Chaya. Chaya incarnation. Chaya means it means a hidden incarnation. Yes, only some few scriptures mention about the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. Only some few scriptures. But it requires a very high level of intelligence to be able to find this out. It requires a very high level of intelligence to be able to discover this. And that's what the Gaudiya Sampradaya, that's what the Gaudiya Sampradaya is all about. And apart from Gaudiya Sampradayas, nobody's know anything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though there are some people who might have heard of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was simply a great saint who came and established Nam Sankirtan and performed so many miracles. But they could not understand that he's God himself who had come to become his own devotee. So Sukadeva Goswami was telling Parikshit Maharaj, who else will not be attracted to be hearing about the glories of the Lord? Who else? Ko nivrito harikatasu ratim nakoyat. Ratim means attraction. Nakoyat. We want to hear about the glories of the Lord. Who will not be willing to hear? Except those who are very attached to hearing about the garbage of this material world. I think I've mentioned this story before, that one time Indra, the demigod Indra, he committed some offense to his Gurudev. So when he committed some offense to his Guru, he was in the heavenly planet, and then his Guru caused him to become a pig. He said, you go down to the earth planet and become a pig. So the Guru caused him to become a pig. So Indra came down to the earth. He became a pig. He became a pig, big pig, and then he had a wife and so many children. And his food was stool. That is the food that the pigs eat, stool. So after a long period of time, Lord Brahma was realizing that the heavenly planet is vacant. I mean, the king of heaven is no more there. And because he is the administrator of the three planets system, is the administrator. So there's a lot of disturbance that is going on because the administrator is no more there. So Lord Brahma became very, very compassionate. He said, okay, let me go back and bring Indra back to his abode, back to his kingdom. So Lord Brahma came down to the earth. He came down. And he came down to where Indra was staying. So Lord Brahma saw him and he said, hey, Indra, come back to the heavenly planet. Give up this big business. Come back to the heaven. But Indra was so engrossed in his family, wife, children, everything. So many pig relatives. So it's like, this is life, this is enjoyment. So even though Brahmaji was calling him again and again, Indra will not listen. He could not listen. He could not hear that somebody is calling him. To him, that calling is that Indra come to the heaven. He doesn't even know what is that. So even though Lord Brahma called again and again, and then Lord Brahma realized that this Indra is very, very attached to his children. So therefore, even though I was calling him, he will not listen. So therefore, let me get rid of his attachment. So Lord Brahma killed all his children. He killed all his children. So when he killed all his children, and then they saw that all his children has been killed, he said, oh, what is this? What is this? Who has done this? Who has done this? Killing all my children. He was lamenting, was looking here and there to see, who has done this? The first activity and killing all his children. Look, and he saw this big person. What happened to the Brahma? It had to rush towards Lord Brahma to attack, but Lord Brahma is so big, so what can he do? So he's simply lamenting, he simply lamented and said, oh, okay, anyway, he has his wife, he can produce more children. So in this circumstance, when Indra was lamenting because of the loss of his children, so Lord Brahma again called him. He said, oh, Indra, come back to heaven. Come to heaven. Leave this place. Come with me. Come to heaven. Still, Indra will not listen because he has got his big wife. He has his wife, very attached to his wife. So Lord Brahma said, oh, this Indra cannot listen. So Lord Brahma killed his wife. So Lord Brahma killed his wife. Now Indra now lost it now. He said, oh, this person has killed my wife again. What is this? And he cannot attack him because Brahmaji is so big. So he was lamenting. Oh, what a life. My children has been killed. My wife is killed. What situation is this? So Indra was lamenting. Okay, he was in the body of a pig. So he was lamenting, he's sorrowful. And then Lord Brahma called him that, Indra, come to heaven with me. You belong to that place. You don't belong here. Come with me. So now, because all his attachments, belongings have been taken away, so now Indra is not listening. He said, oh, what is that? What is that you were talking about? Brahma said, I'm talking of heaven. You are the king there. In heaven? Where is that place you call heaven? Where is that place? Brahma said, that's the place where you belong to. And then Indra said that, oh, can I meet my wife there? Can I meet my wife? My pig wife? The Brahma said, hey, Indra, your wife is the most beautiful person in the entire creation, Sachi Devi. Then Indra asked that, oh, is there a stool for me to eat there? Can I get my food there? The stool? Of course, in the heavenly planet, you eat nectarian drink, which doesn't give, which gives you immortality. So in this way, when people are very, very materialistically engrossed, spiritual life becomes very difficult. It's only when the materialistic engrossed started taken away from them, it's only at that time they started hearing. They started to become open to spirituality. So they become open to the concept of worship of God when the material necessities is been taken away from them. So therefore, was that the Lord saying that the first measure of my devotee is that I take away all his belonging. I take away all his belonging. I take away all his materialistic possession. That is my first mercy of my devotees. When I take away all his possessions, so that such devotees, he will look at himself being very useless in the society, and we see because he feels himself useless in society, because who want to be with a poor person? No more friendship. The family members, they all reject such a person. So the person can only cry out to God, can only cry out to Krishna. Hey Krishna, hey Govinda, where are you, Kotai? Hey Krishna. So there's such a person embrace the lotus feet of Krishna, having understood, having no more hope for materialistic life, therefore engaging in the worship of the Lord. So anyway, just as the pure devotional service to Krishna is very, very rare, similarly, the devotees also very, very rare. Mahatma, because the devotee is called Mahatma, so the Lord said, Sa Mahatma Sudulabha. Such devotees who has taken up the unallowed devotional service, they are also very rare. Bhakti is very, very rare. And also, so is devotee is also very rare. Because everyone in this way, even so-called devotees, they are simply interested in enjoying the Lord. Everyone, they want to serve the Lord so that the Lord can become their servant. That's what people want to do in this material world. It's very, very difficult to actually find a sincere devotee of the Lord. Very difficult to find. Everybody's simply interested in what they can get. It's like, I want to come to the Hare Krishna temple. I want to do this. I want to do that. Now, what is in it for me? What is there for me? So that is the mentality. So therefore, with such a mentality, how can there be reciprocation with the Lord? Reciprocation with the Lord cannot be. How can there be taste for the Lord's name? That will not be there, because the thinking of what is in it for me is there. So there's a lot of lesson that can be learned from this verse. It's very, very, very beautiful verse. I just read again, and then we can ask questions. Gyanam yad apratinivritta gunomi chakran atma prasada utayata guneswa sangha kaivaya samata pantas trata bhakti yogaha kodaritu harikata suratin nakoyat. Transcendental knowledge in relation with the Supreme Lord Hari is knowledge resulting in the complete suspension of the waves and whirlpools of the material modes. Such knowledge is self-satisfying. Due is being free from material attachment and being transcendental. It is approved by authorities. Who could fail to be attracted? So thank you very much. If you have any question, comment, you can go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. And so many wonderful things mentioned. And I hope devotees may have questions to ask. So please, you may unmute and then go ahead to speak if you have a question or something to share. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, the story you shared about Indra being the king of the heavens and now committing offense to his guru and cursed to take birth on earth in a pig's body. And Lord Brahma, seeing the commotion going on in heaven in the absence of Indra, now calling him back. Now, for us as devotees, we accept everything in the scriptures as factual truths. But how do we explain a situation like this to a non-devotee, that this is a true event that took place? Because even on our Earth planet, if a president dies or goes somewhere, there is always a representative to take care in his absence. And for Indra to be absent and there is nobody taking care and there is so much commotion, it doesn't seem to be something meant for matured people. Can you please throw a little bit light on this? Hare Krishna.
Yes, because in the creation of Brahma, in one day of Brahma, which consists of 1,000 Divya Chatuyugas, there are 14 Brahmas, there are 14 Indras in one day of Brahma, 14 Indras. Because each Indra stayed for 71 yugas, each Indra. But there are 14 Indras. So in one particular situation of Indra, one particular period. So that particular Indra is not there because it's no more in his position. There's no more there because Indra is a fixed position. It's a fixed position. So therefore, sometimes if Indra leaves his planet, so the heavenly planet become vacant for some time, and then what happens is that the heavenly planet is vacant. Then the demons take advantage because the demons, they're always fighting with the demigods. So of course, this is Puranic stories. And these Puranic stories, sometimes we may say that, oh, this story is so far out. So therefore, it's mythology. That is what comes to people's mind. This is such a far story. Because it's something that is coming from the other planet, it's not coming from here. And it's not something that is within our experience. So therefore, we don't accept. We say, oh, this is far out stories. But it is Puranic stories. And of course, the such stories is also meant to give us lessons. Because whatever happened, whatever stories that are mentioned in the Puranas, they are meant to give us certain teachings. Those stories are not just there for amusement's sake. The fact that, yes, Indra, because of his offense to the Guru, because of his pride, So because of his pride, so he was cursed to come down. Being proud of, because Indra is such a big position, you are the king of heaven, such a big position. So the chance of being proud is there. But that also is also a lesson. It's also a lesson for us. So because the Purana want to teach us a lesson, so therefore the Purana to have so many stories so that to make us realize that no matter where we go in this material world, it's never a permanent situation. It doesn't matter if you go to heaven or whatever you are, it's not a permanent. So therefore, you have to get out of the material world. Because the goal of the Puranas, the Vedas, is to get out of this material world. So therefore, many stories will be told just in order to elaborate about the unpleasantness of this material world, just to enable us, and also how we develop unnecessary attachment, and we forget our previous situation. Just like a king now, and in the next life, he become a puppet, a pauper. He will not know what he was before, and if someone tell him what he was before, he will say, therefore, immediate reactions, I will not believe it. And secondly, if he has to believe it, then he becomes miserable. So therefore, when Indra was told that he is the king of heaven, he did not understand it, because he was completely absorbed in a pig. So which is our situation in the material world. We are totally ignorant of our previous situation. And that's how we go on in our day-to-day materialistic life, because we become ignorant of our previous situation. So therefore, the sages, they come again and again to remind us what we were before. And that's it, because they come to remind us, it doesn't mean that they want us to go back where we were, but they actually want us to get out the material world, because they want to point towards the temporary nature of this material world. How it's temporary, and it's a place of misery, and we have to get out. That's the only purpose, not for any other purpose. So the stories is there, but we should not be enamored by the stories. But we simply take the story as a lesson, that's all. The lesson of offending authorities. If you offend authorities, then there's a repercussion to it. Just like if you offend another devotees, there is a repercussion to it. So therefore, different stories are told, just to enable us to have this awakening that yes, if you commit such a mistake, we are going to have a reaction. So therefore, we have to be very careful in everything that we do.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Prabhuji. But I know Dr. Hassan has a hand up, but if I may follow up with the answer you gave and the same story about Indra. There has been a discussion on this platform quite a few times some time ago about curses and generational curses. And I think that it is injustice to punish somebody for a crime he has not committed. And therefore, I'm wondering what lesson do we learn from Lord Brahma causing the children and the wife of Indra in the form of pig to die just because with the death of the children and the wife, Indra's attachment to this earth can be snatched aside so that he can go back to the heavens where he actually belongs to. So the question is, why should the piglets, the baby pigs, and the wife of Indra be killed because Indra has to go back? And what lesson do we learn from that? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, the lesson is attachment. Unless our attachment is taken away, we will not give up. The attachment has to be taken away. So therefore, Indra, his attachment was that, yes, he had his wife, his pig wife, his piglets and all that. Even though Brahma was calling him again and again, still he will not pay attention because he's very attached to that. So the lesson to that is simply that unless our attachment is taken away, we will not listen to spiritual message. Spiritual message will not be attractive to us unless our attachment. So that's why sometimes we'll be forced, our attachment will be forced away from us. Our attachment will be forced away, will be taken from us by force. Then before we can start listening. So that is also another mercy of the Lord, or the authorities, when the attachment is when the authorities see that a person is ready for a higher purpose of life, and but still the person is like become captive by the attachment, but they can see that this person is ready for the higher stage of life. So therefore, arrangement is made by which what is holding that person back is forcibly taken away. In this case, the attachment, the family members, or whatever, is forcibly taken away. So that is just the thing. That's just the way the situation works. When the person is ready for spiritual life, attachment is taken away by force. And that's also a special mercy that we have to see. So just like Srila Prabhupada, for example, he was saying that his business failed, everything failed, his wife and family members, they were neglecting, So therefore, Prabhupada said that Krishna has shown me the naked nature of material energy, the naked nature of material energy. So therefore, in that poem, which Srila Prabhupada wrote, said that now where's everything? Now where's my wife? Where's my children? Where are they now? If I think of this thing, I can simply laugh. I can simply laugh at it. So it's a special mercy of the Lord, but unless we are ready for it ourselves, we will not see it as a mercy. We simply see it as a punishment. But why this person has to suffer for this? That's the way we look at it. But as they say, unless we are ready for something, the Lord will not put us in a situation whereby we'll be forced out of our attachment. But we have to be ready. Is that ready? When the Lord knows that we are ready, then the arrangement is made whereby the particular attachment is taken away from us. It's taken. So that study of Lord Brahma is a big lesson for us. It's a big lesson for us who are very materialistically attached. We are so stubborn that no matter what we hear from the authorities, we will not listen to what is good for our spiritual life. We will not listen to it because we are so stubborn. So the time will come when we'll be forced out of that particular situation. Time will come, and we should expect it. We should expect it. The time will come when we feel that our only possession is the holy name of the Lord. That time will come. The holy name of the Lord is our only possession.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So back to Hassan, please. You may go ahead and speak. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble respect, obeisances. All glory to Guru Dev, all glory to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to you, and all glory to the assembled devotees. Thank you so much for your wonderful class. It's really, really inspiring, especially your last message about the Indra. And I have two questions. When Lord Brahma killed the children and the wife of Indra, what do they benefit? Do they be promoted to the heavenly planet, or do they be promoted to a human form? What benefit do they get from that? And my second question is, these demons which always fight with the demigods, do they come from Krishna to complete his lila, or do they come from maybe we humans will do bad things and we promoted to the universe to become demons to fight the demigods, because it seems that always they are disturbing the demigods. And what is the purpose of that? That they always have to disturb the demigods. This is my question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it's good you've asked two intelligent questions. Now, when we said the Indra's wife and children in the form of pigs, of course, Indra's original wife is Sachidevi. She always stayed in the heavenly planets. And just like when Indra became pig, so he had wives and children, pigs, and other piglets. And of course, when they are kept by Brahma, obviously, those entities that are in the body of such pig body, whatever, such entity, obviously, they will get elevation, obviously, to a higher body, not in the pig's body. And of course, the gist of the story is to teach us something, is to teach us that, yes, sometimes our attachment has to be forcibly taken away from us, as I already answered my questions to Saudi Prabhu. So it's just an illustration, that's all. It's an illustration. So the Puranic stories, they are like that. They give such an illustration of how our attachment can be meaningless, can be taken away. Now, as far as the demigods and demons, since the beginning of creation, there has always been demons and demigods. It's been there since the beginning of creations. And sometimes a devotee sometimes can also become demon. Just like King Chitraketu, he became a demon, he became a Vitrasura, by which he has to fight with the demigods. So, and of course, the demons, the characteristics of the demons simply means someone who is attached to sense gratification. Somebody who's very attached to their bodily enjoyment. So these are the demons. So it was a saying that there was a time when there used to be different planets for demons. There used to be demons, they had their own planets, and demigods, they have their own planets. There was a time. Demigod means devotees, okay. So, and after a period of time, the demigods and the demons, they used to live on the same planet, but not in the same city. Not the same country. So of course, the demons and demigods, they always have war, fighting with each other. Each was only looking for domination. So at the time when they used to live in different countries, of course, then they will fight with each other. And at the time, after sometimes, the demigods and demons, they were living in the same country, but not in the same city. They were living in different cities. Then as the progression of time, they were living in the same city, but not in the same household. And then after some time, they were living in the same house, whereby in the same family, you can see demons, you can see a devotee, demigods, devotees. Now in this way, what happened? The demonic and both divine and demonic mentality living in the same body. So therefore, within us, we can be demons sometimes, and sometimes we can be like it. We can be divine, we can be, sometimes. Because within us, both demonic mentality and divine mentality is simultaneously within us. So sometimes, a devotee can exhibit divine qualities sometimes, and sometimes a devotee can exhibit demonic qualities, because it's all within the same body, especially in this Kali Yuga. So that's what you can find. So therefore, we always have to pray to Krishna to kill that demon within us. To kill that demon, we have to pray to Krishna always to kill that demon within us. It's not that the demon is there. It's not like, oh, you have to say, oh, here's the demon, here's the demon. You have to pray. No, the demon is actually within you. So therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda wrote this wonderful book called Krishna Samhita. And in that book, he listed many demons that Krishna killed. He listed many demons that Krishna killed, and he listed, he identified those demons. He listed them as different anarthas that a devotee has. Like Putana, for example, Putana represents hypocrisy or the bad guru. That's what Putana represents. Aristasura, Kesi represent pride. Dhenukasura, Agasura represent arrogance. This different lusts. Or the Kaliya represent envy. So therefore, Krishna and the devotee will pray to Krishna to come and kill. So when Krishna is killing Dhenukasura, he's killing Agasura or Bakasura, is killing them. So these different demons within us are being killed that way, being killed. So when all these demons are killed within us, then we can become devotees. When all the bad qualities within us are removed, are taken away by Krishna, then we can become devotees. The real devotional symptoms can manifest. Otherwise, as long as these devotional qualities are there, they cannot, being a devotee is impossible. So Lord Krishna has mentioned in chapter 16 of the Bhagavata, the divine and demonic qualities, Damba, proud, arrogance, envy, all these things. These are demonic qualities, you see. So we don't have to look here and there or look far away to see what the demons are. We have to look within us, where the demons is within us, where the demons. How to become being demoniac? By looking at those qualities, the bad qualities that we have, and pray to Krishna to come and kill those qualities out of us. Okay? I hope this is understandable.
Yes, it's very understandable. So that means the demons cannot only be their personality, it can also be the behavior within us.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Very, very understandable.
Only
Hare
for the
Krishna.
devil. The devil is within you. Don't like, oh, that devil made me do it. No, no. You. It's your commitment.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Another person, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, anyone else with something to say? It's getting a little late for Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we can't thank you enough for always being here speaking to us and sharing your wisdom and love with us. Devotees, if you have something to say, you may do that before Prabhu leaves. Well,
And for those who are interested, who have time, I have begun the
SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM class.
It's a Bhagavatam meter class, Briya Bhagavatam meter.
BHAGAVATAM, okay.
This is every Tuesday and Thursday. It's a big book of knowledge. It's going to take us 3 months, every Tuesday and Thursday, from 7 p.m., which is our time, and 7 p.m. is 1.5 hours before which is like, I think 7 p.m. will be like 2:30 Nigerian time. And of course, that's morning time in America. This is called the Briya Bhagavatam meter. So you can register for it, and you can be, many devotees, we've already started since last week. Tomorrow is going to be a class tomorrow, and it's every Tuesday and Thursday. So there's a lot to be gained there's a lot to be gained from it. So if you have time, you can try to attend if you have time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And we hope devotees join and enjoy the nectar. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shri Govinda Prabhuji, please. Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu still has some time, some like 5 minutes.
You can ask your question.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu, for the enlightenment. My question is that you're talking of the demons within us in a form of negative qualities. So we know that when one is hungry and begins to eat, then the natural reaction is that his hunger will be satisfied. As he keeps eating, at a point, he'll be satisfied. And if the food is not enough for him to fill his belly completely, he still feels some changes within his system. Before becoming a devotee or before one chanting Hare Krishna, we know that this mantra is very powerful. And before we started chanting these mantras, we have so many bad qualities. And so the expectation is that when you begin to chant this mantra, the expectation is that we kill these demoniac qualities within. If not completely, at least we should progress to some extent. And as we keep chanting, then gradually we become completely purified from these contaminations within the heart. What will cause one to have his heart more hardened, even though he's trying to chant and he's trying to serve? There are certain situations, circumstances where we see that even though we are chanting, even though we are rendering service, but the heart is becoming even more harder than a stone, to the point that we see devotees and we even don't want to look at them. We see devotees and we don't want to smile. We see devotees and as soon as we see them, we begin to criticize. We see devotees, even food, we don't want to give food to devotees. We don't want to give prasadam. Those divine qualities that is supposed to manifest within us is tend to be like a demonic qualities, as you're saying. So what will cause a chanter to come to this platform of hard hardening?
So because we've been in this material for a long period of times, so the bad qualities has been with us. Actually, we're in the material because of lust. It's due to lust we're here. And from lust come anger, there's delusion. So this is due to the material conditioning. So the only way by which these conditions can be taken away is through prayer. So a devotee is out to be constantly prayerful to the Lord, my dear Lord, please kill this demon within me. Just like the Brajabhas say, so many demons will come to Vrindavan to cause disturbance. But what did they do? The moment a demon comes, they run to Krishna and start calling out to him, hey, Krishna, 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 give us protection. And then because they are Krishnas, they are devotees, Krishna immediately killed the demons. So, yeah, it's a constant struggle because we find that sometimes we become, even worse than we were before we even become devotees.
Yeah, that's the question.
So even become worse than that.
Yeah.
Why is this? This is because of that thing, this is due to the long period of disassociation from Krishna. It's like which just come from us from previous many births. So therefore, when we try to be a devotee, it's like a struggle. It becomes like a struggling. And sometimes, when there's a struggle and then you want to fight it. So you want to fight it. So therefore, it becomes, it's like impossible to give up lust, to give up envy, anger, all these things become very impossible to do. But Krishna said, for one who has surrendered unto me, it's possible. Such a devotee can cross over the ocean of material existence, but one has to surrender unto Krishna. So Krishna will not force us. We have to force ourselves to surrender unto Krishna. We have to constantly pray to the Lord, to the Lord's devotee, to please help us out. So a devotee has to be prayerful. A devotee has to be prayerful. And it's not just you or me. This is affecting everybody. Everybody's getting affected. Everyone is like that. And we cannot blame Maya that, oh, Maya is making me do it. So therefore, Maya is stronger than me. Now, actually, Maya testing us all the time. Why is Maya testing us? Because Maya wants to see if you are really serious to surrender to Krishna. So Maya give us so many things, give us so many excuses to see how we are, if you're actually ready to serve Krishna or not. Because until all these things is removed, you cannot serve Krishna. You cannot see yourself a real devotee of Krishna until all these bad qualities are removed. So therefore, it requires prayer. It requires a deep effort. So, and this prayer is when we're doing our chanting, we really have to focus on our chanting and be praying and praying and praying and praying. My dear Lord, please be kind upon me. Please be kind upon me. Be kind upon my dear Lord. What this is there. It has to come from the heart, from within us. You know, you have to confide. We have to cry to the Lord. We actually have to cry for it. You know, within that. So it's not that, and we are in our chanting, it's not that we are simply chanting 16 rounds. At the moment we finish our 16 rounds, it's done for the day. No, no, no. That is not chanting. Chanting involves prayerful, deep concentration. If we do that, then gradually we begin to see the Lord's mercy. Gradually, that all these things will start going away. Whatever we've been seeing troublesome in the world before, it just be a source of laughter for us. You know, it just be a source of laughter. You know, what has been troublesome, what has been troublesome before. So therefore, the effort has to be from us. Our chanting has to be very, very sincere. And we have to be very, very prayerful to the Lord. And we have to be practice being enthusiastic in everything we are doing. We should not be forced to hear the class. We should not be forced to chant. We have to start developing enthusiasm in chanting, in reading, in hearing, you know. And of course, devotee should not be seen as an enemy. Devotee is actually our best friend. A devotee is actually the best friend you can have. You know, that's something we don't realize. Sometimes we say, oh, devotees are so difficult. You know, my coming friend, they are so much better than them. You know, that's Maya. I heard this all the time from devotees. They say, oh, my friends at work, my coming friend at work, they're so nice, they're so kind, they're so this. And devotees, they're so critical all the time. They're like this. And when my friend is so nice, this is just another manifestation of Maya. It's Maya that's making you feel this because you don't have sincerity yourself. So devotees are our real friend. And Srila Rupa Goswami, he gave that 6 characteristics of devotional association. These 6 things, which means the Sadadami Patiginati, Goyan Akyata Prayati, was the Dami, which means to given and we receive. Goyan Akyata Prayati, which means we'll reveal our mind and then we'll reveal our mind to someone and then the person also Prayati. We question and the exchange of heart discussions. And Bhakti Bhujate Chaiva, Bhakti Bhujayate, which means we take prasad, we give prasad and then we exchange.
Yeah, you give charity and also receive charity.
So Bhakti Bhujate Chaiva. So which means, so these 6 things, this is Rupa Goswami said, these are the 6 exchange of love that devotees have with each other. So if we see, if we operate on this level alone, you know, we can begin to see difference between ourselves and also among other devotees also. We can begin to see, you know, the difference, you know. So let's now look outward. Let's just look inwardly only. Look inwardly that all those troublesome things is because of me only. So therefore, let's always look inward. And then the Lord is very kind. The Lord will be merciful upon us. You know, as they say, God help those who help themselves. So we have to help ourselves, and then the Lord will help us. You know.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. You see, my understanding from what you are saying is really, really true. And devotional service is very, very practical. The philosophy is very practical. And we have to really pay attention to every principle given and try as much as possible to execute and to develop love for each and every principle given to us, and to execute it, and gradually, by the mercy of Lord Krishna, we can rise above those obstacles. So thank you very, very much. You see, sometimes we don't pay attention. We forget. We hear so much beautiful classes, and as soon as the class is over, we forget about everything. So how can we remember what we are hearing? Because the noise in the mind is too much.
So therefore,
As soon as we hear,
we
we
have to
forget.
force ourselves. So therefore, we have to force ourselves. So the Bhaktivinoda said, he said that when you wake up in the morning, you should beat yourself, your mind, you should beat your mind with 100 shoes when you wake up in the morning. And before you sleep at night, again, beat your mind with 100 shoes. I mean, 100 times with shoes, 100 times with shoes. Because everything is, because our mind is making all these things. So therefore, we have to constantly beat in our mind because the mind is so stubborn. We have to beat the mind all the time. So that when we constantly beating the mind, then the mind will become weak. So therefore, it become nourished by the Harinam, by the holy name of the Lord. Okay.
All right, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shri Shara Prabhu, for the answer and the questions from Govinda Prabhu and Bhakta Hassan and all the devotees here. So we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna mantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker. And Shara Prabhu, we thank you so much. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Chakapataru Vyascha,
Patitanam Pavanavyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
Santa Kuti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Shara Prabhu.
Jai Shri Shara Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai, Jai, Jai.